All right. So in this video, I wanted to go ahead and talk about a concept I had to introduce with my girlfriend when we were starting off. Um, it's kind of an important one, and so this one will fall under I don't know, like dating advice or whatever. But it's a concept I have a hard time putting into words, concise words at least. So the words I used was, um, you are not my girlfriend. I am your boyfriend. And for her, it was like a mind-blowing concept. It really shouldn't be a mind-blowing concept to us, but so many of us, we don't live in reality at all. Um, so to better explain this concept, uh, you know, we should be able to look around us and say, well, of course that's the case. If you're in a relationship with someone, or even if you're not in a relationship with someone and they decide they don't want to be with you, then that's it. Like, goodbye relationship. You know, you don't own that other person to the point that you can preserve the relationship based upon your own will. You can only contribute what you are able to, which is you, not them. And we can look at marriage. Either person can decide, you know what, I don't want to be with that other person anymore, and file for divorce and serve divorce papers. you know so and they're like, yeah, no, I'm not yours anymore, goodbye. And at the same time, you can decide to sign those divorce papers, or you can decide not to sign those divorce papers. um so it's this concept that you can control what you bring to the table. You can't control whether they are also coming to that same table to reciprocate or not. You can't control their interests. You can't control what they do with their lives. You can only control what you do with your own life. So there's, the more and more I look around at various people's impressions of dating, this seems like one that's already just been kind of lost to lunacy. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, relationships are a collaborative effort. You can bring your best, but if there's not reciprocation, then it don't really work. Another great example of this was, I was working with a kid here recently, and he was all upset about how he doesn't have any friends at school. um, and we kind of had to have a talk, because it was this concept of, okay, but he has friends online, and he has friends at the apartment complex that we live at, but he was so hurt over the fact that he didn't have friends at school. And I was like, you're gonna, the reason why being able to make friends is a really, really important skill is because you're gonna lose a lot of them. And so just because you don't have friends in school right now doesn't mean that you're not going to have friends later. And it doesn't mean that you have to have friends now, because you're probably going to lose them later anyway. So in stark contrast, like I've got two friends, none of them near me. That's changing a little bit. Got a few people around me that I might be auditioning. One that I'm in the process of auditioning for that role right now. But the two friends that I do have are very good friends, and I really appreciate them. And yeah, but it's this this other aspect is that I tried to introduce to him was just this concept of, look, making friends as a skill is kind of a difficult one because, frankly, you can have the skills to make friends. That doesn't mean that other people are going to have the skills to make friends. And so it's a collaborative effort. Like I said, there needs to be reciprocation. Um, Same thing applies to communication. You know, so many times, people will talk about how they want a partner with good communication skills. And 9 times out of 10, what that actually means is I'm really, really bad at communicating. I tend to shut communication down. I tend to discourage it. I tend to punish it. I tend to avoid it. And you could have someone who's the best in the world at communicating at that point. But if you don't possess the ability to communicate back, then that's going to lead to really crappy communication. And same thing with relationships, thing with friendships, um, collaboration, reciprocation. These two are absolutely like really, really important. Um, and and you know, we talk about good mental health and what that means, and a lot of the times what we fail to address is that the better a person's mental health, the better their stability, the better they're able um, to articulate, the better they're able to handle adverse circumstances. Um, a lot of their ability to do better is dependent on how many of their own hurdles they have been able to successfully address. And that will be another video that I'm planning on making here pretty soon about upper limits and that kind of thing. But that's one of those. I'll be honest, I lost my train of thought there for a second. But we just need to understand that if you're not bringing into the relationship, um, even if you've got someone with a really good attitude, you've got someone with a lot of skills, you've got someone like actually healthy, and you could build a healthy relationship with them. If they see too many of their efforts unreciprocated, if they see that, you know, they bring those skills, they've got those skills, um, they've set the bar higher for themselves, and they've over a long enough period of time tried to reach it, and been successful. They're going to look at you as someone who's not even reaching and go, no, no. And that's good discernment. But that'll be enough for this video. I wasn't even planning on this video being this long, but yeah, several topics kind of reinforcing one another. So that's how it turned out. All right, see you guys later. Bye.